Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tea and New Book Tuesday. I am very late. Want to know why? Technology. I mean, let's be honest. We all knew that was the reason, right? Okay, so I have already done the entire show. I did the whole thing. I did giveaways. I did the books. I talked about tea. I burped at least once. I don't know what I did wrong other than it interacted differently with Facebook last week. So anyway, we're going to do Tea and New Book Tuesday, which is now live at sort of noonish instead of 11 when it's supposed to be on. Today, we are going to do the giveaway. As you know, is our tradition, is our favorite part of Tea and New Book Tuesday. I'm giving away 3 thriller mysteries, yellow label-y type books, and 1 nonfiction. Then we'll talk about February's yellow labels, which are mysteries, thrillers, and suspense. It's a nice mixed bag of mostly, I had to choose what was the most significant because there is an avalanche of yellow labels coming in February. So if you're into your mysteries, thriller, suspense, crime fiction typey things, you are going to be so happy and have such a full to be read list coming this February. But first, we'll do the giveaway. I'm going to do the short version of the giveaway because I've already done it once. All right. So I am giving away these 4 books. None of them are pre-publication. Everybody's already out. But they look interesting. We have April in Spain by John Banville, which is a mystery set in the Spanish coast. We're doing The Genome Defense, which is about corporate America's attempt to literally patent DNA and one lawyer's fight against that. Killer Come Back to Me, the crime stories of Ray Bradbury. This is exactly what it says it is. So if you love Ray Bradbury, you might enjoy that. And She Lies Close by Sharon During. There are descriptions on our giveaway page of each of these books, sort of short ones. Normally I'd read you the descriptions, but as I said, I already did it. And I gotta shorten this thing or else I'm as it is, I'm gonna have a pretty short lunch. So we are gonna move on already to, and the giveaway is gonna work the way it did last week. I have the giveaway link. I tried to put it in the description this time. We'll see if that works. I'll probably put it in the comments anyway, just in case. So click on that link. Give me your identification information so that I can send the book to you. I will start sending out books and choosing winners 24 hours from now, so tomorrow. I'm sorry last week's stuff was late. I was not feeling well. And yeah, it was a whole thing. So from now on, I'm going to try to turn the form off 24 hours after Tea and New Book Tuesday. But even if I don't, the giveaway is only the first 24 hours after I go live. Today I am drinking Tazo's lemon strawberry green tea. I probably had more to say about it the first time around. Don't worry, I still won't be able to pronounce anyone's names because that's a Tea and New Book Tuesday staple. So, moving on to our books for the day. Like, super moving on. But we gotta, why, stupid piece of streaming equipment? Why must you do this to me? It finds things to do to me all the time. At any rate, let's move on to these 10 books that are coming out in February. All right. The Goodbye Coast by Joe Ide. The seductive and relentless figure of Philip Marlowe, Raymond Chandler's detective, is vividly reimagined in present-day Los Angeles. Here in a city of scheming Malibu actresses, ruthless gang members, malignant inequality, and washed-out police. Acclaimed and award-winning novelist Joe Ide imagines a Marlowe very much of our time. He's a quiet, lonely, and remarkably capable and confident private detective. Though he lives beneath the shadow of his father, a once decorated LAPD homicide detective, famous throughout the city, who is given in to drink after the death of Marlowe's mother. Marlowe, against his better judgment, accepts two missing person cases. The first, a daughter of a fated, tyrannical Hollywood starlet, and the second, a British child stolen from his mother by his father. At the center of Coast is Marlowe's troubled and confounding relationship with his father, a son who despises yet respects his dad, and a dad who's unable to hide his bitter disappointment with his grown boy. Together they will realize one of their clients may be responsible for the murder of her own husband, a washed-up director in debt to Albanian and Russian gangsters, and the client's troublemaking daughter may not be what she seems. Steeped in a richly detailed ethnic neighborhoods of modern L.A., Ide's Coast is a bold recreation that is viciously funny, ingeniously plotted, and surprisingly tender. This got starred reviews from Booklist and Kirkus. If you're interested in The Goodbye Coast, it comes out February 21st. All right. The Matchmaker, A Spy in Berlin by Paul, I'm guessing, Vidich? At any rate, Berlin, 1989. Protests across East Germany threaten the Iron Curtain, and communism is the ill man of Europe. Anne Simpson, an American who works as a translator at the Joint Operations Refugee Committee, thinks she is in a normal marriage with a charming East German. But then her husband disappears, and the CIA and Western German intelligence arrive at her door. Nothing about her marriage is as it seems. She has been targeted by the Matchmaker, a high-level East German counterintelligence officer who runs a network of Stasi agents. These agents are his Romeos, who marry vulnerable women in West Berlin to provide them with cover as they report back to the Matchmaker. Anne has been married to a spy, and now he has disappeared and is presumably dead. The CIA are desperate to find the Matchmaker because of his close ties to the KGB. They believe he can establish the truth about a high-ranking Soviet defector. They need Anne because she's the only person who has seen his face, from a photograph that her husband mistakenly left out in his office. And she is the CIA's best chance to identify him before the Matchmaker escapes to Moscow. Time is running out as the Berlin Wall falls and chaos engulfs East Germany. But what if Anne's husband is not dead? And what if Anne has her own motives for finding the Matchmaker to deliver a different kind of justice? This got a star review from Booklist, so if you're interested in the Matchmaker, it comes out February 1st. If you are interested in Cold War Germany, hang on, because we're coming back. We will come back to that again. But first, The Violin Conspiracy by Brendan Slocum, I think. Ray McMillan loves playing the violin more than anything, and nothing will stop him from pursuing his dream of becoming a professional musician. Not his mother, who thinks he should get a real job. Not the fact that he can't afford a high-caliber violin. Not the racism inherent in the classical musical world. And when he makes the startling discovery that his great-grandfather's fiddle is actually a priceless Stradivarius, his star begins to rise. Then the International Tchaikovsky Competition, the Olympics of classical music, fast approaching, his prized family heirloom is stolen. Ray is determined to get it back, but now his family and the descendants of the man who once enslaved Ray's great-grandfather are each claiming that the violin belongs to them. With the odds stacked against him and the pressure mounting, will Ray ever see his beloved violin again? This is the first novel from Mr. Slocum. If you are interested in The Violin Conspiracy, it comes out February 1st. Next up, Behind the Lie by Emilia Neymark. A transplant to the upstate New York hamlet of Sylvan, all Lainey wants is a peaceful life for her and her son. But things rarely remain calm in Lainey's life, and when her neighborhood summer block party explodes in shocking violence, and ends with her friend's disappearance, she'll need all her skills as a PI to solve a mystery that reaches far beyond her small town. As people closest to Lainey fall under suspicion, the local authorities and even her colleagues question her own complicity. And then there's 15-year-old Alfie, her complicated and enigmatic son, obviously hiding something. Even as Lainey struggles to bury evidence of her boy's involvement, his cagey behavior rings every maternal alarm. Lainey's personal life unravels as she's drawn into her missing friend's dark secrets, and she realizes she and Alfie are in danger. With treachery blazing as hot as the searing summer sun, Lainey fights to save lives, her family's included. This got a starred review from Publishers Weekly. If you are interested in Behind Every Lie, it comes out February 8th. All right. I can neither pronounce the main character's name nor the author's. So these are my guesses. And I think I'm partly right on the character's name. I think it's Pinyon Scorbion. And the author is Rick Blivis, maybe? So it's Pinyon Scorbion and the Barbershop Detectives. The year is 1910. And the small and seemingly sleepy English municipality of Haxford. There's a new chief police inspector. At first, the dapper and unflappable Pinyon Scorbion strikes something of an odd figure among the locals, who don't see a need for such an exacting investigator. But it isn't long before Haxford finds itself very much in need of a detective. Luckily, Scorbion and the local barber are old acquaintances, and the barbershop employs a cast of memorable characters who, together with an aspiring young ace reporter for the local morning news, are nothing less than enthralled by the enigmatic new chief police inspector. Investigating a trio of crimes whose origin spans 3 continents and half a century, Pinyon Scorbion and his tonsorial sleuths interview a parade of interested parties, but with every apparent clue, new surprises come to light. And just as it seems nothing can derail Scorbion's cool head and almost unerring nose for detection, in walks Thelma Smith, dazzling, whip-smart, and newly single. Has Pinyon Scorbion finally met his match? For fans of Sherlock Holmes and Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot, author Rick Blivis? Anyway, quirky new detective and ensemble cast of characters set against the backdrop of a small town in England in 1910 will feel both comfortingly familiar and thrillingly new. This is a new mystery series. It's a cozy, so if you like your mysteries, or if you like your mysteries not too murdery, then this may be the book for you. It comes out February 8th. All right, let's go back to Germany. The Berlin Exchange by Joseph Cannon. Berlin, 1963. The height of the Cold War. An early morning spy swap. Not at the familiar setting for such exchanges or at Checkpoint Charlie, but at a more discreet border crossing, usually reserved for East German VIPs. The communists are trading 2 American students caught helping people to escape over the wall and an aging MI6 operative. On the other side of the trade, Martin Keller, a physicist who once made headlines, but who then disappeared into the English prison system. Keller's most critical possession, his American passport. Keller's most ardent desire to see his ex-wife Sabine and their young son. The exchange is made with the formality characteristic of these swaps, but Martin has other questions. Who asked for him? Who negotiated the deal? The KGB? He has worked for the service long enough to know that nothing happens by chance. They want him for something. Not physics, his expertise is out of date. Something else, which he cannot learn until he arrives in East Berlin, when suddenly the game is afoot. Filled with intriguing characters, atmospheric detail, and plenty of action, Cannon's latest espionage thriller is one you won't soon forget. This already has starred reviews from Booklist and Kirkus, so if you're interested in the Berlin Exchange, it comes out February 22nd. All right. No Second Chances by Rio Ewers, I think. Ewers. Luke Kingsley's glory days are behind him. A star on the rise, his life and career imploded after his soul singer wife, Lisa Hayes, disappeared without a trace, silencing a very public and tumultuous marriage. Most people, especially in Avenging PI, think Luke got away with murder. The last thing he expects is to be pulled back from the brink by a starstruck stranger. Wannabe actress Kitty Ray has chased her dreams all the way from Kentucky to Hollywood. Saving a washed-up actor's life wasn't one of them, but she believes in Luke as much as she believes her own career is just one lucky break away. From now, she works for Johann Fly, a charismatic, wealthy, and seriously unbalanced drug dealer to the rich and famous. When Johann discovers that Kitty has been skimming the product, he vows to make her pay. As Luke steps up to help Kitty, he uncovers a web of violence and corruption, as well as a single enticing clue about his wife's disappearance. Barreling across the Mojave Desert, Luke and Kitty set off to find the long-lost Lisa. But Johann, hungry for vengeance, is hot on their trail. There's no limit to what he will do to find them. And in a world where fortune favors the ruthless, there's also no limit to what Luke and Kitty will have to do to survive. This got a starred review from Booklist. If you are interested in No Second Chances, it comes out February 22nd. All right. This Might Hurt by Stephanie. I'm going to go with Robel. Who knows? Anyway, welcome to Wisewood. We'll keep your secrets if you keep ours. Natalie Collins hasn't heard from her sister in more than half a year. The last time they spoke, Kit was slogging from mundane workday to obligatory happy hours to crying in the shower about their dead mother. She told Natalie she was sure there's something more out there. And then she found Wisewood. On a private island off the coast of Maine, Wisewood's guests commit to 6-month stays. During this time, they're prohibited from contact with the rest of the world. No internet, no phones, no exceptions. But the rules are there for good reason, to keep guests focused on achieving true fearlessness as they can become their maximized selves. Natalie thinks it's a bad idea, but Kit has had enough of her sister's cynicism and voluntarily disappears off the grid. 6 months later, Natalie receives a menacing email from a Wisewood account threatening to reveal the secret she's been keeping from Kit. Panicked, Natalie hurries north to come clean to her sister and bring her home. But she's about to learn that Wisewood wouldn't let either of them go without a fight. This received starred reviews from Booklist, Publishers Weekly, and Library Journal, so already fairly critically acclaimed. If you're interested in This Might Hurt, it comes out February 22nd. All right. Unmissing by Minka Kent. Merritt Coletto and her husband, Luca, have the life they dreamed of. A coastal home, a promising future, and a growing family. That dream ends with a late-night knock on the door. Weak, broken, and emaciated, it's Luca's first wife, Lydia. Missing for 10 years, presumed dead and very much alive, she has quite a story. Her kidnapping, a torturous confinement that should have ended with her dead, and finally, escape. Racked with guilt over the beautiful life they've built, Merritt and Luca agree to help Lydia back on her feet. It's the least they can do. But the more enmeshed Lydia becomes in Merritt's family, the more questions Merritt has. What is it about Lydia that's especially unnerving? Why hasn't she gone to the police with her harrowing tale? What does she really want from them? The answers, when they come, are terrifying. Because Lydia isn't the only one with secrets. This got a starred review from Kirkus. If you're interested in Unmissing, it comes out February 15th. All right, our final book of today, The Verifiers by June Peck. Claudia Lynn is used to disregarding her fractious family's model minority expectations. She has no interest in finding either a conventional career or a nice Chinese boy. she also used to keep secrets from them, such as that she prefers girls, and that she's been stealth recruited by Veracity, a referrals-only online dating detective agency. A lifelong mystery reader who wrote her senior thesis on Jane Austen, Claudia believes she landed her ideal job. But when a client goes missing, Claudia breaks protocol to investigate and uncovers a maelstrom of personal and corporate deceit. Part literary mystery, part family story, The Verifiers is a clever and incisive examination of how technology shapes our choices and the nature of romantic love in the digital age. This is a first novel from June Peck, and it got a Kyrgyz and a Publishers Weekly starred review. And that's our books for today. Sorry if this one's short and late, but I will be back in 2 weeks with more books that are going to be released in February. It's already been a long morning, guys. So I will see you then. Be sure to join the giveaway, and I will be adding some of the avalanche of yellow labels will end up in a discussion post on the Teen New Book Tuesday Goodreads group. I will see you in a couple weeks. So between now and then, happy reading. All right.